almost cried there. One more. One more.
Mysteries for upper land.
Hey, I made a really dramatic video about overcoming my fear of flying because I had so much anxiety and I thought for whatever reason that the plane was going to get blown up or that birds were going to get sucked up into the engine or that, God forbid, a window was just going to randomly pop open in the middle of the flight. But none of that happened and I made it home in one piece, so enjoy the process. If I let anxiety control my life, I would never fall in love. I would never drive a car. I would never meet new people. I would miss the gift of life. I would never travel. I would never see the ocean. I would never hike a mountain. If I let anxiety control my life, I'd convince myself I feel peace at home, but I'd really be living a lie. I'm going to overcome my fear of flying. I have flown before in the past and I don't know what happened, but like lately, like all the fears that I like overcame in my early 20s, I don't know if like things just like, if you just like reboot as like you start heading towards a new decade, you're just like, you have to like redo everything. Is that just like part of life? Or, but lately, like all these fears that I've overcome in the past have kind of like just not reestablished, but resurfaced actually. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make a video as like a little testimony of like, you can do hard things, you can overcome hard things. I am a brave bear. I'm a brave bear. I can do this. We have 2 days until we leave. And honestly, I go back and forth. Sometimes I'm like really nervous and then other times I'm like really excited. But I also know like as soon as we're like 30,000 feet up in the air, I'll be completely fine. Flight leaves in about 24 hours. Wow, almost cried there. Honestly, I think one of the scariest parts was going through security because that's always intimidating. At this point, I was so stressed out and anxious, I started to get a really big headache. Not even coffee could fix it, but I was also so anxious that I didn't even care that I had a headache. I'm so scared. Walking down the plane, I was terrified. But as tradition, I always touch the outside of the plane. It's one thing to be inside of the plane, but to touch the outside, I think it's pretty cool. Our flight started taking off and my heart rate went up so high that I got a notification on my watch, which that only made me more anxious, and I did shed a tear as we took off. But once we were up in the air, it was a lot of fun. All the fears, worries, and anxiety just slowly faded away as I looked at this view. Something Mackenzie kept asking me is, can you control the plane? Of course the answer is no. Therefore, there's nothing you can do about it. Being anxious won't change your outcome. Being anxious isn't keeping you safe. And as that thought settled into my mind, I was able to relax and enjoy this gorgeous view. Although we were going to Nebraska, our layover was in Florida, so we got to fly over the ocean, which I have never done before. And before I knew it, I heard these wonderful words. Call me crazy, but landing is my favorite part. I don't care if the whole plane shakes or if it makes a really loud noise. I'm just happy to be on land. And then it was time for flight number 2. Flight 2. The second flight wasn't nearly as scary. So we took a nap and watched Seinfeld. Well, he took a nap. Honestly, at this point, flying was really fun again. And we were about to land in snowy Nebraska. Something that actually helped me before the flight was watching videos or looking at pictures of this view right here. We landed in Omaha with a temperature of 20 degrees and it was snowing. Now, statistically, I should be more afraid to be in the car, especially when it's snowy and icy outside, but I was once again just so happy that we were on land, I did not care. I also grew up in the mountains, but then I moved to North Carolina where it doesn't really snow that much, so seeing snow again just made my heart so happy. I forgot what it's like. We made it!
We made it!
So cold!
So cold!
So even though we finally made it to our destination, I still had to fly home in about 4 days. But I wasn't scared at all because I've already overcome. I think the best part of overcoming your fears is once you do it, you get to relax and enjoy life again. It's 0 degrees, but with the wind, it feels like negative 32. I'm excited. We had a blast in the snow. It doesn't really snow in North Carolina, and when it does, you don't really need a snowblower. So Mackenzie got to use a snowblower for the very first time, and I got to shovel, which is so funny because as a kid, I hated that job, but as an adult, I loved it. I love the winter. I love the cold. I could have stayed out here for hours.
It's so cold. It is so cold.
2 huskies.
Look at all the snow.
It's beautiful in the backyard.
It is.
Holy cow. My hand is immediately cold. It's so freezing. What is it? What's the temperature?
It's negative 38 wind chill.
Negative 38 wind chill. But that's what it feels like. It's actually negative 9 right now.
You made it!
And before I knew it, our trip was over. It went by so fast, but time flies when you're having fun. Had to say goodbye to my wonderful aunt and uncle and friends, and had to say goodbye to my sweet Nana. And then it was time for flight number 3. And yes, this was snow inside of the airport.
Down. 2 more to go. I'm a brave bird.
Our third flight was actually delayed, so we were kind of stuck on the plane for about an hour, and that's how small the bathroom was. But I was really proud of myself because this go round my heartbeat was 118. But we landed safely, and then this was our last flight before North Carolina.
1 more.
But check this out. The first time I flew, my heart rate went to 141. But the 4th time I flew, it was only at 105. I know I said this earlier in the video, but something that really did help me before the flight was watching videos of other people on a plane taking off and landing. And then we did it. We landed in the warm weather of North Carolina with a temperature of 45 degrees. I did it.
Putting on it, I love it.
Yeah. We made it home. Well, almost.
Yep.
Gotta drive home.
We're in our car. 30 more minutes.
But I did it. I did 4 flights.
4.
Here's Christian. Well, we made it, but we made it to my mom's house. So we made it to our mom's house where our cars were parked, but then my brother's car wasn't starting, so then we had to jump start that. So we actually didn't get home till 4 in the morning, so I wasn't able to pick up Sebastian till the next day, but here's him being so excited. But then once we got in the car, he changed his mind and realized that I had left him for 5 days. Sebastian, are you mad at me? I came back. Sebastian. I came back for you. I came back for you. And that's that. I survived. Sebastian did forgive me, and all is well with the world again. My biggest takeaway is anxiety is a waste of time, so go have fun, live life. That's all.